Ghost City expressed the ticket to know where my name is Carl. I'm not the kind of guy who scares easily. I've seen things been places. But nothing, absolutely nothing, could have prepared me for what happened on that train. They said it was haunted. I thought it was a joke. It all started with a dare. You ever heard of the Ghost City Express? My friend Julian asked, sipping his coffee with a sly grin. They say it only appears on foggy nights. You buy a ticket, and it takes you somewhere you don't come back from. I laughed it off. Urban legends. People believe anything. But something about that name, it stuck in my mind like a splinter. That night, the fog rolled in heavy. The streets were quiet, unnaturally so. I walked past the old train station, abandoned for decades. That's when I saw it, a train, black as soot. No lights, no noise, just there, like it had materialized out of thin air, on impulse. I approached. The ticket booth was manned by a pale man in a conductor's uniform. His eyes were gray, almost silver, and when he spoke, it was like the words came from a great distance. One way to Ghost City, he whispered. No refunds, no returns. I don't know why, but I reached into my wallet. The ticket cost exactly what I had in cash. I didn't say a word. I just boarded the train. Carriage of whispers. Inside, the air was cold, not the kind of cold you feel in winter, but the kind that creeps into your bones and whispers dark things into your ears. The train was empty, or so I thought. As I walked down the aisle, I passed figures sitting motionless in the seats. Not moving, not breathing. Passengers. Their faces were pale, eyes open wide like they were frozen in time. I sat near the back, keeping my distance. The train began to move, the sound of wheels on tracks echoing in an unnatural rhythm like a heartbeat. I looked out the window. The scenery was wrong, trees bent in impossible angles. Shadows moved against the moonlight. I blinked. For a second, I swore I saw people in the woods, running alongside the train. But then they were gone. The conductor's warning hours passed, or maybe it was minutes. Time didn't seem real anymore. The train was a liminal space, caught between life and death. That's when the conductor reappeared, walking through the carriage with slow, deliberate steps. You still have a choice, Carl, he said without looking at me. Most don't. But you. You haven't been claimed yet. Claimed by what? I asked. He looked at me then, eyes full of sorrow. By them. A scream echoed from the front of the train. I jumped to my feet, heart pounding. The conductor held up a hand. Don't move, it feeds on fear. What the hell was he talking about? Each carriage brings you closer to the heart of Ghost City, he continued. But not everyone makes it. He handed me a lantern, dim, flickering, but warm in my hands. If you want to survive, don't let it go out. The dead speak. I moved forward, past the motionless passengers. As I stepped into the next carriage, the door slammed behind me. This car was different, Tormer, filled with a low hum. The seats were gone, replaced with rows of photographs on the walls. Old, black and white, grainy. Faces of men, women, children. And then they began to speak, not in voices, but in thoughts, whispering inside my head. Help me ... double quotes. They took my eyes. He wears a mask of skin. I clutched the lantern tighter. The light flared, pushing the voices back. I walked faster, not daring to look at the faces again. One photo turned its head to follow me. I ran. The mirror carriage. The next carriage was a mirror of the first, but everything was reversed. The seats, the windows, the direction of movement. And the passengers, they weren't frozen anymore. They stared at me. Every one of them had my face. Some were smiling, others weeping. One had blood dripping from its mouth. I stumbled back, but the door was gone. There was no exit. Then one of the Carls stood up. You don't belong here, it hissed. But you chose this path. I didn't know what I was choosing. The mirror Carls laughed. Intent doesn't matter. You boarded? I held the lantern high. The reflections recoiled, hissing like snakes. I shouted and pushed forward. Another door appeared, burning with blue fire. I stepped through, Ghost City. The train screeched to a halt. Outside, the world was dead. The city was made of bones and ash, buildings crumbling under a blood-red sky. The air smelled like rot and burnt dreams. I stepped off the train, the lantern still clutched in my hand. No people, no life, just ... silence. And then the bell tower rang. Figures emerged, tall, eyeless things wrapped in shadows. They moved with grace, like they were floating. One of them turned to me and opened its mouth. A voice came out, my own. You came to find something. What was it, Carl? I don't know. I yelled. I just ... I was curious. That is a dangerous thing here. They surrounded me, the city pulsing with dread. But you're not ready yet, they said. You still remember who you are. That means you can go back. They pointed to a building at the edge of the city, a shattered clock tower with a single light inside. Climb. If your flame survives, you return. If it dies, you become one of us. The final test. I ran. The city twisted around me. Streets changed direction. Buildings leaned closer. Whispers filled the air, taunting, pleading, accusing. Faces appeared in walls, screaming. The lantern flickered. The clock tower was closer now. I pushed the door open and climbed the spiral stairs. Each step was harder than the last, like gravity itself was trying to pull me down. Halfway up, I saw her, my sister. She died 10 years ago. Carl, she said softly, standing on the steps, stay with me. I wept. She looked so real, so alive, but she wasn't. You're not her, I said. Stepping through the illusion, she vanished in smoke.